100%.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I'm not 100% sure on. I mean,
I've gone different.
let me guess, is it Isaiah Simmons?
No,
Oh, okay, right. Who've you got then, that one?
I've gone Jedrick Wills, tackle. I'm at Alabama.
Right, yeah.
Well, with a young quarterback like Daniel Jones, protect him at all costs.
Mm,
Like the less sacks he gets earlier on in his career, the better. So put a good strong OT in there. Protect his outside. Since the combine as well, they've been quite familiar with Wills. The New York Giants. And considering he slightly underperformed at the combine as well,
yeah.
to have at least some kind of close relationship with a franchise like that. I think it could, just just put signals out there. So like, this kid could potentially go here.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, I mean, he looked pretty promising last year for
Mm.
Giants. He reminds me a little bit of Josh Allen, and I think he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that gets better and better each season. And I think if you do get a offensive tackle to try and help him out and protect him, it's only going to give him more time to pass, really, and hopefully he has a long career because I mean, I reckon he will do quite well. I just think he's a little bit underrated, Daniel Jones, but
Yeah,
he needs all
massively,
the help he can
massively.
get at that O line.
Well, he's had it. Go on. Well, he's had some time behind Eli, so
Yeah,
he's going to pick up some good knowledge. Maybe not all brilliant knowledge, considering how massively Eli fell off last season. But we won't talk about that. We'll go into the next draft pick, yeah. Uh, for Dolphins, I've gone Tua Tagovailoa.
mm,
Uh, they won't rush to put him on the field. No chance in hell will they rush to put him out. But to get him some experience, get his head in the playbook, get that knowledge up for when they do decide to put him out. That will be another Daniel Jones situation. He didn't rush to get put on. He's sat behind Eli. The only difference this time around is, I guess, that Tua doesn't have such a brilliant, big name quarterback. I'm pretty sure. Is he still sat behind Fitzmagic?
yeah, they've got Fitzpatrick now for another year.
Yeah.
They've
So
re-signed him on.
yeah, I don't know. They won't rush to put him out, but then it's a problem with him being stuck behind Fitzpatrick. I don't know, but like he's definitely one of the more superior quarterbacks in this draft. Despite injury.
I think some
You know,
people might even have him as the best quarterback if you
I,
put the
a
injuries
hun-
aside.
100%. I think
Yeah,
he's such a more athletic player than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's got everything. He's got the brains. He's got the arm. But with Tua, he's wow.
he's
That
just
guy
so
is
like
just
athletically gifted. Like
is
it's just a
incredible.
shame that those injuries just hinder him. Yeah, I mean, I rate Tua over Justin Herbert, but don't get me wrong. I think Justin Herbert's a really, really, really good quarterback. It's just I think I wouldn't. I think he gets a bit overrated maybe because I don't see why Miami or something would be thinking over Tua, like taking Tua or something like that. But I mean, Chargers. I think they should just bite the bullet, take Justin Herbert. I mean, he's going to be great anyway. I mean, he's shown it at college, hasn't he? So, I think it'll also add a bit more to the competition between who's going to start for them. Is it going to be, well, if Herbert does get drafted by Chargers, is he going to start? Is Tyrod Taylor going to start, or are they just going to let them battle it out and see who performs better in preseason? Mm,
Um, well, with Carolina, uh, you know, uh, there's a big emphasis on building a strong defense, but
yeah,
they have a fast philosophy. So everybody that they're picking at now, they're looking at having some elements of speed or just really athletic guys. So with Isaiah Thomas, linebacker, safety, you know, it's the perfect fit there. You know, for the schematics of the team, it is, it's brilliant.
yeah.
It's the full package for what they're looking for.
I mean, just talking about moving on to Arizona. I mean, some would say if you said a few months back before all free agency craziness all happened, you would have said maybe are they going to get an offensive tackle? Are they going to get a wide receiver? But I mean, I think it's pretty. I think the stage is set now for them to take an offensive tackle. Hopkins, and Fitzgerald for Murray to throw to. I mean, you don't really need. you don't really need to get any more weapons for him to throw to. You just need to try and protect Murray now. And picking up a tackle at pick number 8 is, I think that's what Cardinals need to make the move on now.
I've got for the Browns at number 10, Tristan Wirtz. He's not a flashy pick, but he's a necessity. He's a nimble, strong tackle in a position where, they could definitely do with some help. I don't think I've ever seen such a poorly put together offensive line. And I think with Tristan, it's a big, yeah, he's a big guy. He's fast. He's nimble for his position and his size.
Yeah, I mean,
Slap him
Browns
there.
have made some improvements throughout free agency. Obviously, they've made some signings, and well, that tackle position, that's the only thing really I think that stands out that needs to be filled in. And I think if they sit comfortably where they are and don't trade back, I think they'd really benefit off of picking up a tackle at that position.
Nah,
Nah, he won't.
he'll stay.
Yeah. Yeah, defense.
I've gone. I've gone. CD Lamb. Couldn't There could
Right,
have been
yeah.
any of the top three receivers. You know, CD Lamb. He's my favorite out of the three. Boy from Alabama. I want to see him in the silver and black. I want to see him play next season. You know,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
yeah.
he
Whoever
did
they pick
bits.
up at wide receiver, it's definitely going to fill in that gap that they've been missing ever since Antonio Brown went. And I think
Mm.
whoever they pick out of them, any of those three, because you could even say the top 10 receivers are all going to have really, really great careers. But CD Lamb for Raiders, I think that's going to be a really good pick for them.
I've got him at 13. Going to the 49ers.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah,
Very, very versatile player. You know, he'll have a lot of fun with that playbook down in San Francisco. I can't really see him going anywhere else. Maybe if he went a little bit later on, as you say, 16, post 16. But if he goes before, he'll go straight after CD at 13. He'll go to the
yeah.
San
I mean, it's pretty
Francisco
well known that
49ers.
Kyle Shanahan likes his creative offense, loves his
Yeah.
offensive plays. So add in Henry Ruggs, who's had a really good career at Alabama for his college. Uh, it's only another asset for San Fran, really, ever since Emmanuel Sanders has gone.
Gronk.
I still can't believe that's happened, Gronk. Yeah.
Uh, I didn't want this question to be asked. I like the guy. I think he's a brilliant quarterback.
Mm,
I can't see him going early. He'll definitely be a late round pick, maybe a backup quarterback for the first season. I can't say exactly where he'll go. Uh, I don't think he's gonna. I think he'll be late first round,
yeah,
but
that's
I
where
don't
I've
think he'll
got
get
him at
much
the
starting
earliest,
time.
late first round. I mean, personally, I'd love to see him at a team like Green Bay or New Orleans Saints as a backup. I mean, Drew Brees, he's got a job in, is it CBS? I think it is, in America for like next season, because I think he's retiring apparently. But obviously, that fills in a gap. I mean, sitting behind Drew Brees for a year while you're getting paid and learning, watching one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. I mean, it's only going to help him improve. He's physically gifted anyway. It's just his IQ, his football IQ is not that. You could say it's not as good. That's why maybe he's fifth best quarterback, fourth, depends how you see it. But yeah, I'd love to see him in Green Bay or New Orleans personally as a backup.
So depending on the injury, my old head coach, Lee Griffiths, he always asked, "Are you hurt or are you injured?" And that's where you see where your real tough guys are. The ones that have got the real heart. They bring all the morale to the team. Are you hurt or are you injured? And most of the time, people would say that they're hurt, and it's the mistake I made when I had my injury in my last season of playing. Uh, you know, I tore my ACL and my meniscus in a tackle that wasn't anybody's fault. It was my own fault. I planted the wrong leg to try and put a spin move on someone. And yeah, we'll skip past the gory details. But I told him that I was hurt, not injured. I didn't know like any difference. So I'd waited 2 weeks for the swelling and stuff to go down. I went on the field, and to be fair, we played our last tournament of the season because we only play five-a-side up to 17. So you do five-a-side tournament, 3 in a day, and it pretty much lasts the period. Like the 3 tournaments last the same amount of time as like a full-length game would.
Yeah.
So I've gone into this tournament thinking, yeah, I'll play, I'll do what I can, I'll try and carry everything. So we've gone into the tournament. I've started playing. I've gone back to throw a pass against the Sandwell Steelers on my first drive of the game, and I've thrown a pick six. I played every single position this day because we were ridiculously outnumbered. And you could just tell something wasn't right. Like if I got the ball, I was too scared to run with it. I didn't want anyone to knock the knee again because that hurt. So yeah, but like trying to at least even play, knowing that there is something wrong, but not quite knowing the difference of being hurt or injured. It's like I don't know. It's a weird one because sometimes you can tell someone's just like playing on it,
Yeah.
and that will bring the morale down because they're like, "Come on, man, what are you doing? Come on, just shrug it off, just leave it. Come on, just keep going." But then you've got those players that will play through an injury and then bring the morale up. But then if they don't quite get the result that they wanted, it will plummet like ridiculously because it's like I've tried my hardest, I've played through this injury, that injury, I've done everything that I can and we still haven't got the result that we wanted, which was what my perspective was in that final tournament against Lions, Sandwell and Tamworth. So yeah, having a season out, potentially looking at having another season out because of the whole pandemic going on. It's been a bit tough. I just want to get back to playing again now. I had my operation last August, 31st of August last year, and yeah, I just want to get playing again now. I miss it too much. I got my head in the playbook, in that adults playbook, because I've moved to the over 18s now. So now we're just
How did
waiting
that
to get started.
how did that injury affect you, like mentally, like coming back into the game? Would you say that it's kind of like knocked your confidence? Like,
Well, in loads of aspects in my life since the injury happened. So I got into the academy in Bristol, the Filton Academy, Filton Pride. So I got into there. I had this tournament. My injury happened.
yeah.
Couldn't get into it. I waited 14, 15 months for my operation. To like have to wait for it, which meant that I missed out on applying for the NFL Academy in London as well. I missed out on Great Britain, and all these things collectively just kind of, it knocked me sideways, and like trying to deal with it and get my head around it all was kind of just like so much. And it like, because I was 16, 17, and I've had all this stuff thrown at me. And then to be told that like all this hard work and all this stuff that you've sorted out so you can go move away and play football and study, something that every kid probably wants to do, I can't do it. Like just because I got injured, it like took a massive toll on me. So I just lost all of my motivation for everything. With college, I dropped out of college. I was just really, really miserable. And like, to be fair, some people would think like, come on, it isn't that much of a big problem. You can play it anyway. It just means that you won't be able to go and move here and play it. But it's these opportunities. Like if I went there and other teams saw, no, not at all. So I don't know, it sucked. But we move. I've had my operation. I can play again. I just can't do what I want to do. And some things just pan out that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like I don't want to, I don't want to hype myself too much, but it's like I lifted the morale a bit. I got everybody going. Game day. I did the pre-game chant. I got everybody was stoked to play some football, and that's the person that you need to be in order to make a team successful, if you will. So, if you want, you need a really, really strong family unit to be able to play football. That's inevitable. But you need that one person to start it all. You need that one person to generate it so everybody can go to you to ask questions or, to get some advice or, just to even just get some confidence. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I saw myself as that player. And then being out and injured, I wasn't feeling great. So I didn't really want to speak as much or get too involved in everything. So then you could see that started wearing off on other people, and yeah, I think that's what started the downfall of the morale, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say we've seen how like teams' game plans and have changed in the past. I mean, we've seen it last season with Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. Did he injure his elbow or something? He was out for like half a season or something like that. But obviously, that changed their season drastically. I mean, it shows you the effect that a big injury can have on a player, like key to the team or not. Like it's a big like a big impact to the team.
Massive impact. So with American football in the UK, it's one of the biggest rising sports in the UK. Like statistically speaking, it is the biggest rising sport in the UK. So many people are getting interested in it. You get the Super Bowl streamed on BBC One every year. They have a lot of coverage on it on BBC Sports. Sky Sports have a lot of games on when the season's on. I think they have like 3 a week, at least 3 a week. They also have Red Zone. The league is massive, with universities having their own league now. Some colleges are looking at doing some development things. And we have 3 divisions in the over 18s, and then we've got an under 19s, and we've also got an under 17s. So it's a massive thing. If you're in the community, it's a really, really big thing. And give it a few years, I think it could potentially, if BAFA, which is our governing board, if the British American Football Association, like, put more funding into us somehow, I think it could potentially get to a competitive league, where it's streamed, like on smaller places. So some of our games get streamed anyway. If you go onto YouTube, we've got Onside Productions. They'll stream some of the games during the season, mainly like the division semi-finals, like bowl games, that kind of thing. Some Div 1 games get streamed, but realistically, it could easily be a lot more popular than it is at the moment. So, like in school when I was playing, it was always like, oh, why don't you just play normal football? What you got to go egg chasing for? And it was like, well, I'd come off of holiday from the Dominican Republic. I'd watch the Raiders play Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We won 25-24 in OT. I think it was OT.
I think it was, yeah.
I don't. And we won, and that solidified. Like, okay, I'm a glory hunter, whatever. I'm really not, because I'm a Raiders fan. But I saw them win one game. I fell in love with their uniform. I went home. I googled if there was like American football clubs in the UK. There was literally one in Erdington, which was like a half an hour drive away from me. I went to do tryouts. I got on the team. I fell in love with the game ever since.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to compare English football compared to American football, like the NFL, the one thing that stands out the most to me is the identity of a team. Like, if you look at, for example, like Raiders or something, and you look at the crowd, you got all like they're supposed to like be scary and Vikings and whatnot. Thugs, intimidating. Like, they've got their own identity, if you know what I mean, and it kind of like carries like throughout the history and all that. Like, obviously you've seen it with different teams, like, I don't know, the Patriots or something. They've got their identity and they stick to that. And obviously, I see it a bit more. It's a bit more. I'd say a bit more inviting, maybe, compared to like English football, because I think everyone sees English football like a bit fuggy. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but everyone thinks, yeah, I think that's the stereotype for it. But I think it's just the way that American culture is different. Like, it's like when you think about it, like, they've got colleges over there playing on national TV in front of millions. You wouldn't get that over here.
No,
you just wouldn't see it now. You wouldn't see a university league playing football with millions of viewers watching.
Can I just add to the
ITV.
culture?
Yeah, sure.
With what you said with the culture, you'd be massively surprised with how the culture. Sorry, my cat just jumped on my desk. You'd be massively surprised of how the culture is so similar in the UK compared to America. It's granted, it's not exactly the same, but you've always got that hype man, and you've always still got those people that if you watch Last Chance U, you could easily watch that and compare it to your club that you play for, and
Yeah.
think, I have a guy like that, and I have a guy like that. My quarterback is exactly like that. So it is quite weird to see the parallel, them being the opposite side of the Pacific. It is the Pacific, isn't it? Or the Atlantic? I don't know. But
Atlantic,
the other
Atlantic,
side of
yeah.
the fucking
Other side of
the
the
other
pond.
side of the world. Yeah, that's the
The
one. The other
pond.
side of the pond. So I've got the I don't know. It's weird. Unless you're in a club, you don't really see that culture. We've got our defense. We call it the Black Death, which is very similar to the Raiders' defense. I'm pretty sure it is actually the Raiders' defensive nickname. But we still have the chance. We have the fans. We have the nicknames. We do take a lot of influence from the big side of it in America and try and like put that into our game, which isn't as big, obviously.
Yeah, it's almost like you're respecting it and just kind of like
Yeah.
admiring it. Really, it's not like you're trying to change it or anything. But yeah, that's quite good.
Oh. So I want them to have a great season. Fresh start, Las Vegas, never had a football team before. I'll be honest, I can't see it happening. I don't think it's going to be a great year for us. The beginning of last season looked promising, but the end of it was just a big downward spiral. We'll get Jonathan Abrams back. He'll be fit and everything, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I can't predict it. I think we'll go positive. Maybe well, that's realistic. Yeah, maybe
It's
lower.
It's a tough division though, that AFC West, especially.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
obviously you've got Kansas at the top, but
We've
the
got
other
the
three teams,
Chiefs.
Broncos, Chargers, and the Raiders, they're quite closely on a skill level, really.
Definitely.
I can't really predict that.
No pun intended.
winning the
New
whole like
Orleans.
Super Bowl.
New Orleans, 100%.
You see, I always say New Orleans, but they always choke in the playoffs there. So I
Yeah,
might not
but
pick them this year.
I've got a good feeling about New Orleans. They've Taysom Hill, brilliant player. Is Taysom Hill, is it? 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant player. Absolutely insane. He can put that guy anywhere and he will ball. They just need to utilize him, find a position for him, keep him there. I think he'll be brilliant. He can be a really, really promising young player years to come.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that one. I mean, after the news of Brady, after the news of Gronk coming out of retirement, getting traded to Tampa Bay, I mean, it's looking like a dream team, ultimate team almost. If they just draft if they try and get an offensive lineman with their first round pick, try and help out Brady, I think they've got a good chance. But I mean, San Fran though, I think San Fran are going to improve as well, especially picking up another receiver, Henry Ruggs.
Hmm. Mm-mm.
I can see them in the Super Bowl again, definitely. I don't think it's unlikely that it wouldn't happen. I mean, they got to the who is it that played in the conference game? Was it Texans last season? It was Texans, weren't it? Yeah, I mean Texans not looking too strong this upcoming season without Hopkins and whatnot. But I can see them getting the Super Bowl again easily. Yeah, I'm just not sold on the quarterback situation with Pats. I'm just not sold on the quarterback situation. Yeah, I mean, who's the guy that they got as a back? Was it Jarrett Stidham? Is that his name?
Stidham, yeah.
Yeah, Stidham. I mean, I know Belichick can build up players like he did with Brady and whatnot, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think you'll see like the impacts in 1 year, maybe not even two. But we'll just have to see what happens because it's a dark day for New England now without Brady and Gronk and
Well,
whatnot.
it's the end of an era.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It'll be impressive to see if you can sustain sustain the empire that he's built. I don't know, give it a season or two. Belichick will be gone. He'll retire. He's old now. He's done. He's proved his point. Do you know what I mean? He's got nothing else to prove.
Mm.
So it's one of them. %. No way.
Mm.
No worries, buddy. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you.